thinking just pretty simple little drive and chat shit while we're driving and explain some thoughts about the Octavia and why it has been, out of 9 of my cars, definitely the best daily, the most reliable, and just an all-round great car. So it keeps stepping up the turbos and changing, I think, probably the head. No, I don't know. To a point where it goes PD90, PD110, PD130.
Yeah, so really it was just minor changes, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they kept that engine for 10, 15 years, all the way up until the mid-noughties.
Yeah.
And then there's a real nice sweet spot for Skodas, where the Superb was and the Octavia, and this is that. It's before they all just become the exact same VAG sort of stuff. This is when Skoda was Skoda.
So what are the stats on this one? What year is it?
So it's 2004 Skoda Octavia 1.9 TDI, and it's the Lauren and Clement trim, which is quite a rare trim. I think it's like a coach builder's trim. So compared to my 5 Series, we've got heated seats, full aircon, Alcantara and leather, electric sunroof, xenon lights. Oh, hello. Sweet.
Oh no, we're at a weird angle now. Okay, that's better.
Okay, right, we're back. Yeah, xenon lights, 16-inch alloys, which seem crap now, but at the time were quite a thing.
And they're like chromed, aren't they? Almost.
Yeah, they're like
they've got like a weird polished face.
So yeah, for an Octavia this age, it was about as good as you can get. And even though it's starting to look quite its age, I guess, it still doesn't look all that silly compared to other modern estates on the road with their Xenons and, you know, torquey diesels.
Yeah, kind of.
But yeah, it's the engine that makes this, really.
Yeah,
it's just a lot of people modify them nowadays, like the Fabia VRS, same engine as that.
Yeah, Remans Pro.
Torque, 6-speed.
Oh.
It's refreshing.
It's really not bad.
Close that.
Factory sunroof.
Yep.
It's pretty cool. Electronic, no less.
Yeah. And I've just not had a single fault. So this was, it's my parents, technically, and it was sat up for about a year, and in that time, I've had to chuck a couple tyres on because the sidewalls were just dead from being flat for so long. And then apart from that, I've not done anything. I really haven't. It's insane. It just got up and went.
You can't ask for any better than that.
No, you can't.
Just consumables.
You turn the key and it goes every single day without fault.
Yeah.
And MPG wise, it's nuts.
Yeah.
I was getting 55 MPG yesterday.
Jesus. That's not bad, is it?
Yeah.
You can't even do much better than that with a brand new car.
No.
Without going like hybrid.
I don't think there's many cars that you can use that are starting to get old like this is, that can still give you a bit of performance fun and return like so much fuel mileage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that sweet spot, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's the way these engines are tuned and designed to be as well. They've just got all that torque, don't they? And then they like fall off. But
yeah, it's it took me a while to get used to it, really, especially from the petrol 5 Series that had no torque whatsoever, because it's very snatchy. Yeah. And I think if you're not careful, especially with mods, we've got a friend who's got a really highly modded PD130 Seat. I think you can go through clutches like anything, really.
Yeah.
But it's just so nice. You pull in, you go into fifth at like 80, and then you know that you've got another gear.
Yeah.
It's great fun. Probably pick these up for about £1,000 really for a nice PD130. I've not seen a single other Lauren and Clement for sale, but I know they're out there.
So what would this be worth?
It's 140k miles, so it's not bad at all for a car this age, a diesel this age, but it's a bit tatty, as you will have seen in the intro. It's not the best kept. But it's probably 1,500 quid,
Yeah.
I'd say.
But it's honest, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an honest car. You can't really ask for any more than that. It's like...
There's no like bodged bodywork repairs or like
Yeah.
trying to make it something it's not.
So we also have in the family the Fabia of this age, 2 years older. Exact same engine, but just no turbo on it. And it's even more reliable than this. It'll go on forever. It really will.
No.
I don't know if it's the simplicity of the single cam or if it's like that the high pressure pumps are really well engineered, but there's something about these cars, even more so than any other diesel of the age, that is just it's bulletproof.
Yeah.
I've not really seen anything like it.
Just over-engineered, isn't it?
Yeah, it probably is just really savagely over-engineered.
Yeah.
I think it was at the age where they were still made in Czechoslovakia and they were just trying to make a name for themselves. They were probably trying to break that stereotype and really become a contender.
Yeah. With the big bag boys.
Yeah, exactly.
And even the modern Skodas, like my mate's got a brand new Octavia. Well, it's not brand new, it's like 2 or 3 years old. But it feels like an A3.
Yeah.
And it looks like an A3 on the inside.
That's the thing though, is that's great, but with the newer stuff, you couldn't tell it apart. It could be a VW, it could be a Seat.
Yeah, they are just the same now.
Yeah.
But you pay a premium for the Volks, for the Audis and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
But yeah, it's a really luxurious car. But there again, it's not cheap. Like I think you paid like 10 grand for it, and it was like 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess is cheap. It's probably more like 20 when it was new.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, even still, what amazing value. Because people who aren't into cars and who don't study the second-hand market and who haven't had cheap cars, they don't believe that you can get a reliable car for less than 2 grand.
No, you wouldn't really.
That's why everyone buys brand new or like close to it. People who are otherwise unaware of what's available.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're lucky in this country in that regard. Just our used car market is just awesome.
Yeah. In terms of structure as well, I cannot spot any rust on this whatsoever. It's never had an issue with that. It's not like Japanese cars of a similar sort of age.
Yeah.
That was a shot.
No, it's a good age for cars in general because sort of turn of the century is when cars started getting more sort of like tankish.
Yeah.
Like the difference between a 2000 and like my Corolla, which is 2002, similar age to this, and the Japanese cars of the late 90s is like night and day. They're completely different. They were like tin cans, and then suddenly cars started getting heavier,
Yeah.
quieter.
It can be said for a lot of cars about this age. This is when these cars might not ever become classics in my mind. I think they will always
feel
become,
modern.
Yeah, I think there will always be a rugged, usable car.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're not things you throw away, they're not consumables. Newer cars with like finance packages and whatnot, and you know, over-engineered, they get passed on, they get like consumed.
Yeah.
And it's the sweet spot between that and the classic,
Yeah.
where you get this 10 years of cars where they're like built to last. It's an overused phrase, but it's true.
I think it's a sweet spot of luxury and complexity as well. Like the turn of the century cars like this, they were so much more comfortable, like generally,
Yeah.
and so much more practical, and they were more reliable, but they weren't overly complex. Like we had all the modern amenities like ABS and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and like air conditioning, like all cars of this age have those things. And it was when a focus was made on like noise, vibration and harshness.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all such comfortable daily drivable cars. When you compare them to some stuff that's like, I don't know, even like 5-10 years older than this, it's completely different.
That is true, yeah.
So it's cool in my mind because they've got all these things that make them comfortable and very sort of dailyable, but they're not so complex to the point where if it breaks, it's not worth fixing.
Yep, exactly, yeah. So there aren't really many things that can go wrong on this that break the bank.
Yeah.
I'm
So
thinking
like,
high pressure pump. This is the last of the mechanical injection as well. So that's why it can be so good to tune.
yeah.
It's a lot more of like a manual thing. Like Ferrari turbo on his
Yeah.
PD. You don't even have to do a great amount of remapping for it. It's just matching the AFR. Basically like updating the AFR.
Yeah, just make sure it's got enough fuel.
Yeah. Apart from that, it would just take it, it would just rev how it's supposed to. Yeah. I don't think there's many diesels left that you can really do that with.
Yeah.
Like how you see on films, like grease monkeys just slapping a massive turbo on something that you think that would never, like, you couldn't actually do that.
Yeah,
It's just back in that day where everything is so rudimentary that you can.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the E34 I had. That sort of thing you could slap on a turbo from a 530D.
Yeah.
And you'd have no problem. You wouldn't even have to change anything. It just picks it up as different air rates. That squeaking was really annoying, isn't it? Going swimming, boys! Watch out! Do you actually fancy anything? Because that queue is small.
It's not bad, is it? I'd get a drink if we're going. Huh?
So the dynamic of this car, it's not a performance car. It's never going to be. It's quite absurd slapping such a torquey engine in a car that's so front weighted and so long. So the front feels really stiff and yeah, and heavy and quite low in comparison to the rear, and it's just such an unsettling feeling. You go around a corner at any sort of speed and it feels really, really unsafe. It will wheel spin all the way through first and second if you're not careful, not because it's that torquey, just because it's set up so badly. It's like, yeah,
Just a squishy boy.
it's not a performance car. It's not, there's not much to say apart from that in truth.
I think there's a lot of fun can be had within that sort of handling
It's
characteristic.
novel in that sense, isn't it? Because it's really soft suspension. It accentuates the inertia, I'd say. One thing I've always credited Skodas for as well, it's a really weird attribute, but they have the most direct,
Yeah, yeah. The
perfect
little
gear
Fabia was good as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I don't know why, but every gear change is just like so notchy and direct. It's nice. It's a nice change from a Beamer as well, which sloppy as hell.
That was sloppy, yeah.
Yeah.
You're such a penis.
Please move forward to the next order point.
Suck my ass. I find it fun. It sounds like a cammed V8. It doesn't. Yeah, all in all, perfect dad car. Go camping, take your kids in it.
Oh, it'd
I
be so
think
good for camping.
I was also going to say,
You've got roof rails.
in terms of camping, yep, roof rails, towing.
Yeah.
I haven't managed to try that out with this, but I think this is the perfect towing car.
Oh, it'd be good.
It's just very diverse and capable, basically, as cars go.
There you go.
Trying to whip it on, see how it feels. It's surprisingly good.
Yeah, sterilise me, bud.
Sterilise my asshole.
Oh, your
And the
window's still
windows.
up.
So that is why the Skoda Octavia is the perfect daily driver, especially for young drivers. You've got novel torque and performance, you've got absurd practicality, you've got brilliant fuel mileage, cheap insurance, cheap tax. You can't go wrong. It's perfect. And you won't always look like a taxi driver from 2005. So there we go, maybe we'll do motoring advice in the future, more videos like that. Certainly more fun things to come, more project developments. We'll stick it in different chapters, probably, categories of the channel. Yeah, look forward to more stuff. Sterilize my asshole.
Huh?
Whoa! Yankee with no brim!